For years, HR has endured arguments that it is unable to add value to the organisation. But since the pandemic, almost all leaders have looked to HR to tackle the myriad changes taking place and better support the employee experience. We cannot let this opportunity pass us by to demonstrate HR's impact and improve its influence. From as far back as 2015, there has been a movement towards hiring a head of employee experience to augment the HR department. Their responsibility has been to demonstrate true, authentic leadership, ensuring that the stories told to the customer are the same stories told to the employees. And this is to ensure that there isn't such a disconnect between the two that it makes social media headlines causing untold reputational damage to the organisation. The pandemic is reinvigorating this desire for a head of employee experience as organisations look to protect the mental well-being of their employees and ensure they avoid the Great Resignation. This requires a shift of focus for the role to one of ensuring that engagement and meaningful work in flexible environments becomes the mainstay of the organisation. One could argue that HR directors who have the right level of impact and influence within the organisation have always been able to address employee experience issues with the board and the senior leadership team. They are equipped to make real strides towards aligning business strategy with the employee experience, embedding it through the recruitment, performance and reward strategy. It's only since the pandemic, when the global workforce is considering how it feels working for their organisation and whether the organisation deserves its labour, that the board and senior leadership team are turning to HR for advice on company strategy and how to align its business objectives to its people. This is all organisations, not just the enlightened few. So to take advantage of this global change of opinion, no more jokes about HR really standing for the Human Remains Department, HR professionals need to be aware of their own impact before they can influence others. They also need to help the board and all leadership teams understand and demonstrate their own impact as well. Employee experience is an area that has always been part of the role of HR, although perhaps HR professionals have not had the impact and the influence to make this obvious and are therefore missing an opportunity to boost their reputation. When everyone operates from a place of authenticity and competence, it becomes easier for the whole workforce to align their own personal values and objectives towards the organisation. This consequently enables purposeful work, employee engagement and organisational success. Whilst the pandemic is driving more compassionate responses from the senior team and the board, it would be remiss of HR professionals to not consider that these groups need a compelling reason to change. With the organisations I work with, this compelling reason often occurs when the senior teams are shown the collective impact they make on the organisation, as well as the thorough understanding of their own individual impact. However, to enable this shift to take place, HR needs to be a credible, equal partner, advisor to the business. In fact, the HR professional who can make spirited, innovative and strategic suggestions that span the operational running of the business, not just the people aspects, is one that has the air of the CEO or the senior leadership team. They have demonstrable impact and influence, which is a starting point for assessing your impact and influence. So here are some questions to ponder. Why are you working in HR and in this company in particular? What unique solutions can you provide for this organisation that another HR professional can't? And how do you impact the organisation in regard to the people issues as well as the business ones? How influential are you? Do your peers voluntarily go to you prior to issues becoming real problems or when strategising a change in their department? Could you run the ops function if the operations manager or director was ill? And if not, why not? And can you articulate your value to your workforce, department, peers, managers, and the organisation? Are you universally trusted? Of course, this is not an exhaustive list. I recognise that this is just a microcosm of what makes up your impact and influence. Often when working with organisations, I profile their individual and collective impact when we are trying to improve their leadership capability or implement a change initiative. However, the questions are part of the informal pondering of the senior leadership team when they're considering your influence and the impact that you make to the organisation. I have found that one of the best ways for HR practitioners to demonstrate their capability in this area is to enable their leaders to understand their own individual and collective impact, including the HR professional's impact, of course. In the ever-changing, complex world we find ourselves in, now is the time to take advantage of the senior leadership's desire to improve their own impact and ability. They recognise that to survive and thrive, they have no choice.
If you are a HR professional who has decided that they need to improve the leadership capability of your organisation or improve your own impact and influence, then call or email me. I would be pleased to support you and your organisation.